What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for August 23rd, 2023. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery, and what a win. What an exciting win. What a fun win. The atmosphere just seemed playoff-like down there. Trey Turner even mentioned it in the postgame. The Phils walking off 4-3 in one of those. It was just like a gritty win, and they were definitely opportunistic, took advantage of some hard-hit balls that fell in the right space. But what I like is like this team is able to win multiple ways, which I think is key come the playoffs. They're able to win with 4 home runs in a game, 5 home runs. They're able to play small ball and win. They win close games. They're able to blow teams out and then keep it turned on. They're able to win in extra innings. So going into the playoffs, I think being able to have that experience and playing in close games, playing in blowouts, and just being able to do all of those things is going to be huge. The bottom part of the lineup is just incredible. And you like to see that, like I said, especially going into the postseason when things kind of. I'm anxious to see what it's going to look like with the new rules, with the pitch counts and the engagement rules. But playoff baseball is different. So the fact that they're gaining all this experience, winning in different ways, is going to serve them well. Still putting some distance between them and the other teams. They're up 3.5 on the Cubs right now. And I say let's get greedy. Go for the sweep today against our old pal Gabe. They're looking probably to get back to San Francisco. So the game is there today to be had. All right, Sixers update. And the NBA investigated James Harden's comments, found that it was nothing illegal that he was talking about. There's no necessarily behind closed doors, off the grid conversations between him and Daryl Morey. He's just pissed off that they, I guess, said they're not trying to trade him. And again, I mean, there's no market for you. So, I mean, I don't know what you want. Like, you can't just magically make things up. I mean, he's fined, and the NBA Players Association is grieving it. I'm not really sure what the fine is for, whether it's for basically calling your boss a liar in public. But I mean, that's just kind of common sense, dude. I don't know. I feel like his camp has played this whole thing entirely wrong. The fact of the matter is, you needed to know that there was no market for you, and I truly believe that that's part of what played in his mind of why he opted in for the $35 million. Is he knew, all right, at least I'm gonna get that, and then maybe they can trade me. But Maury's also got to worry about the team. But it's just, I don't know. I mean, and if that's what he was fined for, is talking trash on his boss. Again, I don't know what the rules or whatever are, but I think we've all been there where we want to say something, but just don't say it in public in China, who the entire country hates Daryl Morey. So that, I think, also kind of gave it more legs than what it may have had. But again, at the end of the day, man, you screwed up, and this is now the fourth time, and I keep saying it, but you got to look inward. Like, if this is the fourth time this has happened to you, and you messed up, and I feel like he's grasping for anything right now, and it's gonna totally screw up this season for the Sixers, because it's gonna be a distraction one way or the other. And the way the CBA is written, he has to report to camp, but then he's also the kind of guy where Ben Simmons just kind of didn't talk to anybody. James Harden's the kind of dude that's gonna start some shit. So anxious to see. Like I keep saying, it's better than any reality show, but yeah, I wish it was happening to another team and not mine. All right, the Eagles had a joint practice yesterday with the Colts that ended abruptly when Jason Kelsey shoved Zaire Franklin, starting a all-out brawl. Basically, he shoved him because he felt like a hit he did on Kenny Gainwell wasn't appropriate. Kelsey later did say, look, I messed up. It was a cheap shot by me. I shouldn't have done it. And I mean, I think that's what I like about him. Like, he's just that kind of guy where he's like, all right, I messed up and I shouldn't have done it. And he took responsibility for it and didn't say, oh, well, so it's a good life lesson. Would have been a good Tuesday motivation, positivity quote. But, hey, take accountability. But it should be an interesting, even though none of the starters are going to play, it should be an interesting preseason game on Thursday night. Speaking of the Colts, lots and lots of Twitter talk, WIP talk about the availability of Jonathan Taylor. And yes, he will make the Eagles better. He is affordable. I think they could probably get away with giving a second or third round draft pick for him. But the question then becomes, what are you going to do with him after this year? Is he willing to come without having an extension? I think it's worth exploring, but I just would be cautious because of just the whole, now you're playing like fantasy Madden where you're just adding guys, and in Madden that works. We saw what happened with the Dream Team, quote unquote Dream Team, before. So I'd be cautious about that, but I definitely I do think it's something that's worth exploring for the Eagles. And this is that kind of move that Howie makes that might, you put Jonathan Taylor on that team and then the hands down the best offense in the league. So we'll see. I haven't read or heard any of the updates that happened overnight as far as rumors or anything, but it's worth noting that it's possible again, and they happen to be here this week too. So I don't know if I don't know who does their stuff. I don't know whether Irsay is the general manager too, or if he's kind of like a Jerry Jones type owner where he has a general manager, but he. So we'll see. And the way the Colts are handling this is completely screwed up too. So we'll see if there's any legs to that rumor. But like I said, it's worth noting. Excuse me. All right. Excuse me. All right. On this day, back in 2009, the Phillies won 9-7 over the Mets. Jason Worth, Carlos Ruiz each hit a home run. Phil's put up 6 runs in the first. Brad Lidge came in the 9th to close it. Now, if you remember, in 2009, he had a rough start to that season. He had blown 8 saves. Quickly gave up. He didn't give up, but 2 runners quickly got on base thanks to 2 errors, one by Eric Bruntlett, one by Ryan Howard, and basically the tying runs were on base with no outs. Jeff Francoeur stepped up to the plate, hit a line drive right to Bruntlett, who tagged second base to get Luis Castillo out, and then tagged Daniel Murphy for the unassisted triple play, the walk-off unassisted triple play, to preserve the 9-7 win for the Phils. The Phils would go on to go back to the World Series in 2009. It was the second walk-off unassisted triple play in Major League Baseball history. John Nguyen, first baseman for the Tigers, did it in 1927. So Bruntlett, I know there's some people out there listening that are not fans of Bruntlett, but Bruntlett did play a big role in the 2008 World Series as well. But on this day in 2009, ended the game against the Mets with an unassisted triple play, preserving the 9-7 victory. Want more Phillies coverage? Check out our friends at 2008 Phils. They have the world's biggest email Phillies newsletter. Right now, they're offering a 75% off subscription to This Day in Philly Sports History listeners. That gets you access to everything they have on their site. The 2008 World Series Championship banner shirt that Bruntlett played a big role in. Access to special giveaways, autographs, tickets, things like that. Basically, 2008 Phils will follow your Twitter, which is a good follow for you, help build your brand, all for $2 a month or $20 for the year. So go follow the link in the description for your 75% off subscription. And when you're done that, with all the money you save, go to Philly Goat. It's back to school. Time is ticking. We are under a week, but there is still time to order your Kelly Green gear from Philly Goat. They have an awesome selection, and it'll be here in time for the opening game. While you're there, use the promo code Jim Montgomery, 10% off of your order. You've already saved money from 2008 Phils. Why not spend it at Philly Goat? Back to school shopping, back to you shopping. Do something for you. Treat yourself. They have stuff. You name it, they have it. Sweatshirts, hoodies, jersey. jersey shirts like for the Union. Flyers are coming up. And I'm telling you, get in early on the Flyers because they are going to be good. Not this year, though. So this would be a time to maybe start building your Flyers collection. But go check them out. Use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off. Helps me out, helps you out, helps them out, and we continue to grow this podcast. So you have the extra money from 2008 fills anyway, and I'm telling you to get in on 2008 fills as we go toward the postseason. But going to the Eagles, 31 questions in 31 days. We've been focusing yesterday. We talked about the 49ers. But today we're looking in the division and the Commanders and just how good are they and how much of a threat could they be to the Eagles, because they did beat the Eagles once last year. One of the only losses they have. New owner group, who basically we know him very well. It's Josh Harris, who's trying to figure out what the hell's going on with James Harden. New offensive coordinator, Eric Bruntlett. And I'm really excited to see, I shouldn't say excited, anxious to see what he does down there, to see why, like if he's as good as everybody thought he was in Kansas City, why he wasn't getting a job. So if he comes in and really transforms that Washington offense, then hopefully that leads to him getting some jobs. But I really want to see what he has. He's already rubbing guys the wrong way. So I don't know if that's an indictment on him or the previous regime, what went happened. But he's rubbing, which I guess if you're coming in, you're going to ruffle some feathers. Sam Howell's the quarterback this year. Ron Rivera, I think, excuse me, this is like a pivotal year for him. I think he's on the hot seat. You have a new owner. I think there needs to be some type of improvement, and I think they should be better. But they're probably going to be last in the division. I don't think they're a threat to the Eagles yet. It's a division game, so you never know. They might be able to steal one of those games. Like, obviously the Eagles are going to lose games this year that we expect them to win, and win ones we expect them to lose. It always happens every year. Washington could be one of those teams that comes in and steals a game from the Eagles, but I don't think they're ready for prime time yet. I think what's going to happen is I do think they're going to be right at like that 500 level, and I don't know if that's going to be enough to save Ron Rivera's job. Harris might want to bring in a new coach, kind of get his people set in place. So we'll see how it goes, but it's just weird because for so long, Washington has not really been a threat. Even in 2020 when they won the division, they had a losing record. So we'll see, but don't see them as a threat to the Eagles yet, but they could steal a game from them. And I think one thing I will say with Jalen Hurts, I guarantee you he has those both Washington games circled as, okay, I'm not losing to them again. It just seems like he's that kind of guy. But Washington, just not quite there yet. But they might not be as big of a dumpster fire as they usually are. However, look at the Sixers, and they have the same owner. So who knows? They could be just as big of a dumpster fire. But go to Philly Goat, go to 2008 Phils, hook those guys up, hook me up, hook yourselves up. But on this day in 2009, Eric Bruntlett had a walk-off unassisted triple play to save a 9-7 win over the Mets. We're slowly inching toward real NFL football. College football kicks off on Saturday with a few games. Could not be happier. Probably will have more of an update on as the Harden turns. Phil's looking for the sweep. It's a beautiful day. Fall is in the air, as you can hear from my coughing and my stuffiness. But this has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go have yourselves a Wednesday, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.